Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Even as we speak, there is a nexus emerging in Pakistan that is aimed at destroying the pluralistic soul of India. NewsX has accessed a chilling photograph that captures the conspiracy. It's on your screens as we speak. Look at the picture on your screen. This picture taken today brings together three pillars of rogue state, terror state Pakistan. On the one side is ex-ISI boss Hamid Gul's son, and on the other is 2611 butcher Hafiz Saeed. In between is the ideological fulcrum in the shape of the turban chief of Pakistan's Haqqania seminary that counts amongst its worthy students such reprobates as ex-Taliban chief Mullah Omar, who specialized in the fine art of beheading innocents, and the Haqqani brothers, who are the Pak Army's favorite paid hitmen in Mufti. If you look closer, you will also pick out the walrus mustachioed figure of Sheikh Rashid, who warms the benches of parliament thanks to his proximity to the army. He represents the constituency of Rawalpindi. That explains a lot. Taken together, these delegates at a terror conclave in the heart of Pakistan's capital are plotting Pakistan's counter to India's surgical strike. Only difference is that the strategy involves exporting a hardline Islam to India through agents to convert liberal Muslims into seeking the destruction of the Indian state and its liberal ethos. Realizing that Kashmir is no longer an effective call to jihad, these conspirators are now using a radical strain of Islam, Wahhabism, to prepare cadre in India to establish a theocracy. In Kashmir, the effects are already being felt on the ground. Indian authorities, who have been thus far smug in the belief that Muslim youth are above the suasion of these hardliners, need to shake off the complacency. Look at these pictures and understand that this is an existentialist threat which is going to be exported sooner than later. Tariq Fatah, author, commentator on Pakistani affairs, Baluch nationalist, with us. Also with us, Professor Nalapat, the editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, and Colonel R.S.N. Singh, to put perspective on this story. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, MP of the Rajya Sabha, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, also with us today. We'll introduce the rest of the panel in part two of this debate. But I first want to begin by focusing on this picture and all it represents. Tariq Fatah, we were talking about this picture earlier in the evening. New viewers perhaps are tuning into NewsX. I want you to put this into perspective for us, sir.
See, on the right of your picture is the kingpin. We've lost the picture. Is it there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
let's open the picture out. Let's just show Mr. Tariq Fatah in the frame with the picture so that we can get a better view. Yes.
And that is the visible problem that India and India's statesmen and politicians and intelligentsia are familiar with. On his right is the real problem, which is the fluent English-speaking, Western-educated, upper-class, millionaire jihadis who, perhaps I would say, who never got a date in their lives, are now seeking a passage to paradise to score. But that category is the real danger, not just to India, to entire human civilization. They are educated, they are engineers, they are physicians, they are smart, but they are brainwashed. Their only desire in life is what we used to call Qayamat, but in Indian Muslim theory or narrative, it was sometimes taken as a joke, as you would even say, kya kafir hasina hai, you know, ya kya Qayamat khana banaya. These guys are looking at the end of civilization, end of time scenario, which comes from the Ghazwa-e-Hind philosophy. But sitting on that fellow's right is the quintessential Pakistan military ISI officer in the waistcoat.
Okay.
That's not the attire of the Islamist. The Pakistani Islamist is always with his waistcoat open. He never has the good manners to ever tie up his top button. That is the Pakistani, whether it's a prime minister, whether it's retired, or whether it's that other guy with a very cheap hairpiece on his head. That's Sheikh Rashid. You see that?
Yes, Sheikh Rashid. There it is.
That's the guy who links the Appara, the ISI, the Rawalpindi military headquarters to the Islamabad politicians. You will see this man in every political combination that Pakistan has ever put forward. I'm sorry, not Pakistan. Pakistan by itself is nothing. It's the ISI that puts forward. He is the central continuity in every disaster that Pakistan has, whether it is Benazir Bhutto, whether it's Musharraf, whether it is Kayani, or whether it is this new Sharif that has come up. That's the guy who's an MP from, or MNA as they say, from Rawalpindi. And you see he's right there. He's the sort of, body language-wise, he's the central figure putting together the people on the right with that quad,
yes.
Yeah, guys on the
left.
Of
mullahs, yes.
The mullahs. And these are not mullahs. They have diesel businesses, they are multimillionaires, they're heroin smugglers, for each terrorist that they supply, they get paid. Every villager, you see, it's the villager who dies. It's that fanatic in the suit who goes through the planning or ends up being promoted to go to ISIS to fight in Syria. Because this is, fighting in India, Pakistan is the low grade. You get promoted, you then go to United States, is the top area where you go and blow up. But those four guys on the left, that is the core issue. If India can't get one or two of them and parade them around, there's no point in doing surgical or neurosurgery or anything. You want to tell the Pakistani people that you've delivered a blow, get one of those ugly fellows out here, like Osama bin Laden. Don't drop him in the sea, photograph him, stuff him up with the, and send him back to Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's home, where you've got about 20 stuffed animals butchered but saved, to show that he's the lion of Punjab. You don't do that, you can't win this war.
Well, this is all happening. It's happened till about an hour back at the Marriott Hotel. This is as close to paradise these chaps are going to get, sir.
Well, that hotel, by the way, was attacked once by the jihadis. They've blown it up, so because these guys are insiders.
Yes.
So obviously they know this, they're not going to be blown up. They are the people who blow up things.
Okay, Professor Nalapal, how do you analyze this, sir? This configuration?
Well, Rahul, first of all, I agree completely with Tariq Fatah about the danger posed by Wahhabism, and that it's a global danger. It's not simply India, it's Europe, it's the United States, it's the entire world that is now facing the problem of trained Pakistani terrorists.
Absolutely.
And he's absolutely right. ISI is being trained by, quote-unquote, people on leave from the Pakistan army.
Yes.
Xinjiang Uyghurs are being trained by people on leave from the Pakistan army. And the worry is, frankly, neither the United States, nor China, nor the European Union has sanctioned a single Pakistani general or a single Pakistani brigadier, despite voluminous proof, quite frankly, of the fact that they are linked with terror. This photograph is one among, I'm glad you brought this out. The fact is, this kind of thing should at least shame these countries into declaring sanctions. And for a start, I think we in India should declare sanctions on these individuals and say they are terrorists, and we should demand of the United Nations that they also give sanctions. Some country may block it, but at least we should ensure that we do the right thing. As Tariq Fatah correctly says, they're a danger to civilization.
Okay.
Doctor, shut the water, by the way. You don't need anyone's approval. If you shut that Indus water and say, as it is, you don't like drinking water from the hand of a Hindu. This is a Hindu river. Please don't take it.
The presence of Samiul Haq there. This is the first time I am told by informed sources that he has shared a stage in this public manner with the rest of the clan. Now, I'm sorry, it sounds very much like a KKK meeting, but the only thing is missing, of course, is the conical, headgear.
There's something else here. I just need to interject. This is a Pashto Punjabi collection.
Right.
That's the odd part of it. The Pashtun mullahs, the Talibanized mullahs, are sitting together with the Al-Qaedaized, Arabized Pakistani Punjabis. This is very significant.
Rahul, I just
well, there you have another view of this. So we've got a second picture. Let's just put that picture out if you can. There's a second angle on this. It's a very frontal view. So it negates the other three, Sheikh Rashid and Abdullah Gul, etc. So it's a front view on the left. These are very rare images. One second, sir. I just want to describe the picture, and you can see, if you can play out the other picture, if the director could be so kind as to put out the other picture. I think he's going to just do it in about 30 seconds. There it is, there it is, there it is. This is the other view. There you can see Hafiz Saeed, Samiul Haq, and on the left is Maulana of the JUI, and on his right are others. Colonel RSN, quite an assemblage there, but they represent an incipient threat, sir, to our philosophy, don't they?
Absolutely. And look, you talk to any Pakistan analyst in India, and you ask him which is the ruling Torika. I think 80% would say, the president, the prime minister, and the military. But it changed long back, Rahul. It changed long back. Today, it is the military, the jihadi tanzeems, and the prime minister. So these are the three pillars today, and it is essentially in that order.
Yeah.
The military followed by the, and jihadi tanzeems are nothing but component of the military. Now in this photograph you see this fellow Abdullah Gul, his father Hassan Gul, he was a man who radical,
yes.
who
ISI chief,
to
who
whom goes
to
whom goes the credit of radicalizing the whole of Pakistan. He was also very, very closely associated with, in fact, he was the galvanizing force as far as Tablighi Jamaat was concerned. And, well, he's a worthy son of a worthy father, that's all. But he's not the only one. Rahul, I posed this question to a former national security advisor of Pakistan when he came to India. I asked him that, tell me, is there radicalization in the armed forces? And he said, yes, I cannot deny. And then he went on to say that, look, my own nephew, who is a chartered accountant, educated in English medium schools, he has joined the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Lashkar-e-Toiba. So that is the kind of phenomenon prevailing in Pakistan. And Mr. Tariq Fateh is absolutely right.
Bring them here, sanction them?
No, we have been very, very poor in researching and reading of sociology. Very poor, and that is why all powers, have exploited us. That is why we got colonized.
Okay, but sir, I just want to come out to you, Dr. Swami, suggesting that we should sort of extradite them, try them, stuff them. It's easier said than done, isn't it? But we could make a beginning by at least getting Parliament to pass a resolution against these characters or demand some sort of a sanctions. Would you think that's going to happen soon?
Well, the question is, who do you address this? You have to develop an elite corps which should be able to penetrate into Pakistan. We have already shown that Pakistan-held territory is no more sacred for them. We have come across, they didn't even know what hit them.
Yeah.
They're still recovering from the shock of that. And they are, of course, the only way they can escape the consequences of that shock is to be in denial. The fact of the matter is that we have demonstrated a dimension of our capability which has completely shocked them. Now they are making such wild statements that they'll march to Delhi. We are waiting for you, Mr. Hafiz Saeed. Come with your forces. What's stopping you, Mr. Azhar, who actually was in our custody and we let him go?
Yes.
I think this is a capability which is being developed by us and may take a little time, but right now Pakistan is, it's stripped of its manhood.
But
so
do you see
Yeah.
Do you see other politicians in the opposition supporting any motion, sir, to sanction these individuals? Because some of them are, at least nominally, the head of particular orders that represent, obviously, the faith of Islam. Do you think that the opposition in India, which plays up to certain denominations for electoral gain, will they stand with the government to pass a resolution?
As far as Lok Sabha is concerned, we don't need any of them. We've got absolute majority.
Yes.
And if you can see by all the noises and the cacophony of what you call as the opposition, you have not heard anything from Mulayam Singh, you have not heard anything from the Anna DMK, you have not heard anything even from Karunanidhi, you have not, or BJD.
Yes.
There's a vast opposition which is backing you because the country is, on a high just now.
Yeah.
These people, obviously, they have some obligation to Pakistan that they must make this noise.
yes.
They must make
And that
this
is why they are doing it.
Rahul,
They must
can I-
make this
can I
noise.
take-
Yes.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
These goons represent no religious order.
Oh, no religious order.
None
So they
whatsoever.
are just
I
self-started.
could tell you one thing. I doubt if any of these people have read the Quran. I'm serious. I could sit down and eviscerate them just across the table. They are illiterate. They are goons. They wear ugly beards so people think they are very holy. That's the misfortune of the Muslim world. That the moment you become a normal human being, say, isko Islam ka kuch pata hi nahi hai, you have to look ridiculous for someone to believe that you are pious. I'm just not ugly enough. So, when you say religious order, there's no religion in them. Leave aside religious order.
Well, these pictures are of the Pakistani envoy here in India, Abdul Basit, fleeing the cameras. Look at him. Leaping into his car, fleeing. He wouldn't even respond to ANI. He never speaks to NewsX, of course, because NewsX has exposed Pakistan's designs several times. We don't even get visas, of course, our journalists. But listen to this. He scoots. He scoots. He's probably off for some cocktail party, but he doesn't have the time. He's got his mobile on there, so he knows what's happening. It's not as if he's living in a bubble. Professor Nalapat.
You know, I want to add to what Tariq Fatah is saying.
Let's go back to the
He
picture.
was talking about this Pashto Punjabi. Look, there are certain Pashtun who are unfortunately, if I may say so, who are serving the Punjabi ISI. They are not really Pashtuns. They have diluted. I mean, Mullah Omar, for example, was servant of the ISI. The poor man was was following orders.
But ethnically, what has happened is that as a result of the Arab influx
Yes.
in the Afghan war, where Pashtuns were told that they had to offer their daughters to Arab warriors,
Yes.
you today have about 30,000 of the Arab fathers have fled, and these are 30,000 to 40,000 adult Pashtun Taliban soldiers whose fathers are Arabs and mothers are Pashtun. There is no father there. He's simply sending the money over. And this is what I mean to say when he's talking a study of sociology.
Yes.
I doubt if any Indian has said, where did the Arabs go? Everyone had 4 wives during the Afghan war. They even had, they were given boys, which is called bachabazi, a fine tradition in Afghanistan to the landlord class. So you had enormous damage done to the Pashtun society by Osama bin Laden.
And the whole thing was masterminded by the ISI.
Yes.
Okay, so now how does one deal with this, Colonel Arison? Because these people are plotting.
No, this is a very telling photograph, and I'll just decipher this whole thing for you. This fellow, Saimul Haq.
Yes.
Saimul Haq, funded by Imran Khan, that Haqqani seminary, right? He has just given, fresh lease of funds to them.
Yes.
Then you have Hafiz Saeed. Hafiz Saeed, funded by Shahbaz Sharif.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Sheikh Rashid, a legislator of Imran Khan's party.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So now you know.
No wonder it's called Taliban Khan.
Correct.
Now you know. I mean, you have the total politician jihadi nexus is there in that photograph, and then orchestrating the whole thing is that ISI man.
Yes.
So therefore, look, Imran Khan may pose as a very soft man and a cricketer, and the whole world goes gaga about it. But
His first wife left him because she detected a radical streak, and the fact that he was selling out to
No,
that's not that.
He's just
okay.
There's so many stories why these wives leave. He wishes the wives to be enablers like Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
So
Okay,
what
well-
I'm trying to say is this is the picture of Pakistan, sir. This is the picture of Pakistan.
That's a good one, right?
Yes, well, so I wouldn't want to endorse it. I have to keep a straight face here, but it's a point that you made. Yes,
This is the picture of Pakistan.
Yes.
This is the pecking order of
This is the pecking order.
of Pakistan.
This picture tells it all.
This is a very
This
telling.
picture tells it all. This picture
If
tells it
I
all.
had the time, I could write a whole column on this.
A whole column. Well, sir, you have the opportunity. You have the picture. We'll give you the picture. You can write your column.
Yeah.
Professor Nalapal.
You know, Imran Khan is welcome in.
Let's look beyond. Let's look beyond. You know, inconsequential politicians for a few moments. I just want
And
to
you are
look at.
dealing with this kind of a state.
That's exactly what I'm
This is-
saying.
you are dealing
so
with this kind of a state.
is emblematic
You talk to whom?
of a rogue state in operation, and there is not even the fig leaf of pretense here. This is what is worrying Professor Nalapat, and then there are people in this country who call for dialogue, who say, let's have a dialogue with Pakistan. Who do we speak to? Hafiz Saeed?
Just a second.
Sheikh Rashid? Abdullah Gul? Samiul Haq?
I would say the best microphone for a dialogue is a drone, is a predator drone. That would be the ideal microphone to conduct that kind of a dialogue.
Let me explain, since I am from the left, what drives the left to this desire for dialogue. It's not that a dialogue produces results, but a dialogue enables you to go on a 4-day conference.
Let me bring in
And
Vikas
so,
Bhattacharya. He's here with us.
shrimp
Off the left,
cocktails, you got
Vikas
aunties to
Bhattacharya,
talk
senior
to.
leader of the CPIM, is joining us. If he's through, let me just go straight across to him. Vikas Bhattacharya, you have for dialogue. You say, let's give up all this offense. Let's stop this surgical strike. And let's hold dialogue. Who do you want to speak to amongst this collection of worthies, sir? Tell me. Is it Hafiz Saeed, Samiul Haq, this chap who is the underling of Imran Khan, Sheikh Rashid, Abdullah Gul, who represents the ISI? Choose, take your pick, sir. They're all there.
Yeah, waiting
Who
for
would you
your-
like us to speak with, sir?
Waiting for your choice.
Do you think, first you said, do you think that you can get the solution done through war? That's a wholly wrong perception. What we say, it is the duty of the Indian government to ensure the security of the Indian people. It is the duty of the Indian government to ensure that there is no cross-border violence. Government has to do that. Whatever steps government has been taking.
Yeah, the
government
onus is
answerable.
only on the Indian
But
government,
that
of
doesn't
course.
mean that the government should go on with the insistence to war. Please don't attribute anything to my mouth. Either allow me to speak or snap me. We want that the government must have the diplomatic channel open, talking to the Pakistan government.
But
There is
who?
a system which you have to follow by taking the Pakistani government into confidence through international channel.
Okay.
Did
The
you
global
hear?
Let me ask
world
this
is one
Did you hear
village.
that?
The
They have
counter
to have
question
the
coming to you
assistance
from
of the
Tariq Fatah.
international
Counter question from Tariq
community.
Fatah, sir, for
You
you.
have to sit across the table.
Comrade,
Okay.
No, none of the drones, none of your armory, none of your ammunition can settle it.
Okay, Tariq Fatah has a
Don't
counter
follow the
question.
Indian
Sir,
philosophy.
counter question to you
Don't
from Tariq
forget
you
Fatah.
about
advise the same thing to
constitutional
Soviet
obligation.
Union?
Yes, sir.
Peace is one of the
Comrade,
fundamental
give me
tasks
a
of the
second.
Indian constitution.
Please give me a second.
Either follow constitution
Mr.
or
Bhattacharya,
you may go by to constitution.
I assume that the
Yes.
Communist Party, CPM, is driven by some sense of Marxism. Would you imagine advising Chairman Mao to have negotiations with Chiang Kai-shek during the Civil War? Did you imagine asking
Please,
Lenin?
I don't want to talk Marxism. I don't want to talk Marxism here.
Then
on
I'll
an
tell you
issue
what.
Which has nothing
Why
to do
did-
with
why
the
won't
Marxist
you talk-
principle. The
why
basic
didn't
issue
Stalin
is
talk to
Indian
Hitler?
people's security.
Why
Don't
don't we
divert.
allies with
Don't
Roosevelt and
divert.
Churchill?
You people who are talking of solution through drone, you can't imagine what
No,
the
no,
value of
then
peace.
change the name
You
of
don't
your
know what
party.
Mahatma Gandhi has said.
No, sir,
You do
come
not
on,
know
come
the
on, let's
philosophy
not,
of the
let's
Indian
not, let's
people.
not debase the
Please,
debate,
please,
sir. I'm
please,
asking you,
please.
but Mr. Bhattacharya, please,
Solution must be.
I'm asking you a
Solution
very
must be
reasonable
through
question.
proper-
Yes,
proper
sir.
dialogue.
No,
Dialogue
you said
should
that
be with
let's,
the people.
fair enough, you've said that let's engage the Pakistani state. So this is the Pakistani state. It is there before your eyes, sir. I'm not cooking up this picture. This is not some hoax job. This meeting is going on right now. These are the pillars of the Pakistani state. Now, would
I
you...
can't see the pictures, therefore I can't make any comment on the pictures.
Sir,
I can't
The pictures
comment
are
on
available
this.
on social media. They have been out for 3.5 years. Okay, let me bring in the Congress. Let me bring in the Congress on this.
Who are the
You
people
ensure
sitting
the
there?
security of the people.
Okay, sir, for your
You
benefit.
ensure your borders sensitivity.
Okay.
And at the same time, you try
Okay,
to
sir.
open a dialogue
Yes.
and a permanent solution.
Okay,
We
let's have a dialogue with
we have
Samuel
had
Hutt,
four wars.
who is the head of a seminary that
What
brought
can't
out
give you anything?
individuals who specialized in beheading, like Mullah Omar and company. Okay, let's talk to Hafiz Saeed, who's a butcher of 2611. He's sitting there. He's ready for you to book a conference call, and in a conference hall, let's sit opposite Abdullah Gul, who has bled India through this strategy of 1,000
Can't you have
cuts.
Can't you have conference with the Pakistan government?
This is the government,
Why
sir.
not government?
This is the government.
Oh,
This
my
is the
God.
photograph.
There is a
Why are you in
government.
denial?
There
Are
is
you
the
serious,
UN
comrade?
There's the UN
This is the
Security-
government. This is the Prime
UN
Minister, the
Security
President,
Council,
and the Defense
if you,
Minister.
If you can pursue, if you have the, you see, if you have the strength of dialogue, diplomacy, you can even engage the international peace force. That we have to try.
International.
You don't have to waste so many Indian soldiers' lives.
Okay, well, look, let's give him the benefit of doubt. Perhaps he hasn't really seen the picture.
No,
Now
it's
we're
not a
showing the
question.
picture.
Your perception, brother.
Now we're
you
showing the
cannot
picture.
impose your perception.
Okay, one
Indian
second.
people
Let
are
me bring in the
peace-loving.
Congress on this.
Don't
And
be
The Sharia Bolsheviks.
Dr.
honest
Ajay
to
Alok
God.
of the
Encourage
JDU,
hatred.
two other dialogue enthusiasts. They want Aman ki Asha, this, that, the other. Okay, let me bring in the Congress. Jaiveer Shergill of the Congress is with me also. Jaiveer Shergill. Here is a picture, sir, of the Pakistani state. You want to call it a rogue state, a terror state, a responsible state, that's up to you. But are these the people you want this government to engage? You already said that perhaps we need to roll back and go back to strategic restraint. Now, this is what confronts you, sir, across the dialogue table. Would you still want the government to talk to these people, sir? To give up surgical strikes, etc., etc.? The right also to defend itself?
Rahul, if you recollect, you asked me the same question on Thursday evening when I was on your show. And I said it very categorically, any political party or individual of this nation who suggests that we should be courteous to Pakistan or engage in a dialogue at this juncture is doing a disservice to humanity.
What about
and rather
tomorrow,
feeding
day after,
these
the
monsters
day after
of
that?
terrorism. The picture you see are the... Rahul, I told you, today, tomorrow, in Indian Constitution does not allow any plea bargaining with the terrorists. They live by the bullet and they will die by the bullet. The Indian armed forces have already shown them a trailer of what we are capable of.
Which you, of course, think is fake.
They should be rather thinking
Which
how to
Sanjay
escape Pakistan
Nirupam,
and go to another safe haven.
which others in your
Now,
party
let me
think it's
complete.
fake? No, I'm asking you, the trailer that you are now swearing by, your party has said, or at least elements within your party have said, is a fake trailer. Manufactured somewhere perhaps in some, chroma key set. That's what the implication is, sir.
Rahul, I'm not going to mince any words here and just allow me 10 seconds to put my stand. First, it's unfair to project statement of one individual as a stand of the entire Congress party. We
Not
don't
one
agree
individual.
with it. We condemn it and we have taken a very serious note. Point
Digvijay
one.
Singh, Manish Tiwari,
Let me complete.
Sanjay
Rahul. You're
Nirupam.
right. Second,
No, but it's not one individual, sir. So please, let's be, you said that you were not going to mince words. So let's also not mince facts. And I'm asking you, sir, let's not make a mincemeat of the facts.
any
you don't
person,
believe in, no, if you think that Sanjay
I am
Nirupam,
giving a category, any leader from within,
no, if you believe, sir, Sanjay Nirupam
any
has,
leader from the Congress party
Yeah.
who doubts the veracity, the authenticity of the surgical strike is doing a disservice to the forces and is not talking in national interest.
so what
Let me
action
be
have
very
you
clear.
taken against
Second,
these
I
people
have
who don't
seen your
speak
show
in the
of what
national
Mr.
interest? No, I'm
Bhattacharya
asking
said,
you,
what
sir. No, one second.
What?
What action
Rahul,
have you
please let
taken
me-
against... No, sir, please. You see, it's very easy tonight.
Rahul.
Sir, please allow me. It's very easy tonight to stand here and say, no, you see, these people are being irresponsible. They're talking against the Indian state and the national interest. So then, sir, how about punishing these people? Or does the Congress party have a policy where they allow a bunch of treacherous individuals in the name of some sort of notional democracy to subsist? This is an important question, Mr. Shergill.
Rahul, very valid question, and this question should be posed to entire political class, whether seeing it's Congress or BJP. Now just allow me 3 seconds and we'll call who's right, who's wrong. Here is a tweet by Mr. Narendra Modi, 15 September 2013. You can project it on your screen in fairness. I will read it out. We are facing many a crisis. Is all this happening due to weakness of the Indian army? 1. The PDP meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi today and pleads him to de-escalate situation with Pakistan and engage with Pakistan, and BJP is still forming in government with PDP. BJP inflicted the biggest insult to the Indian army by inviting ISI, patronizing and looking after ISI in Pathankot. Mr. Amit Shah said we extend a warm welcome to ISI, and Pakistan is seriously probing Pathankot terror. BJP overnight made an accused into a judge. Did we ask certain resignations? We should. I am with you. Ask resignations from entire political class. The point I am trying to make is, let's not manufacture a political controversy or create a political divide on
manufacture a political controversy. When Sanjay Narupam pops out of the woodwork and says that that the encounter is fake. I mean, the surgical strike is fake. And it's being staged for political reasons. No one is manufacturing it, sir. 1 second. I just want to bring in some of the other panelists. Okay, you made some points. I want to bring in Dr. Swami to respond to the charges that Jaiveer Shergill is making. Jaiveer Shergill says, sack the whole political class because at some point or the other they've all questioned the army.
No, you have been scrolling on this show.
Yeah.
That Rahul Gandhi has said that they will not take any action against these people who have expressed doubts.
Yeah, he won't. He hasn't.
So therefore, the issue of sacking them doesn't arise. Maybe he has not been kept up to date on the latest, but the scroll is said so, and I assume that's accurate. The issue is that all this talk of dialogue that this matter has arisen from, it is not only a question of who do you speak to. You must know that Pakistan is run by 7 corps commanders of the army. Yeah. And if you look at the brigadiers and major generals, many of them now have started sporting beards, and they do namaz 5 times a day.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time when the 7 corps commanders will also become part of the radical establishment.
Yes.
Then the army becomes a jihadi army. And therefore, we have to now put that next 3-4 years perspective before us and see that Pakistan is restored to sanity and civilization by taking appropriate action. We have demonstrated capacity that within a short period, 2 years, we have reversed all the lack of preparation in the last 10 years of the UPA rule, and we have pulled off one of the most brilliant maneuvers of this surgical strike,
yes,
which has been now appreciated by the Russians. It is now, yesterday's Washington Post and so on, they are quoting international sources, but I can tell you that today there is almost unanimity that we have done this. Question is now, what next? Here is a question where you are facing a situation where the jihadi army will get control of the nuclear weapons. So we have, it's a much more serious problem than North Korea, and therefore we have to take some preventive action. So that is what the nation has to be prepared for.
So this was a preemptive strike to tell Pakistan, don't trifle with us. Fair enough. Let me go across therefore to Dr. Ajay Alok, who says Pak shouting and parading international journals to POK saying no surgical strike, then why not release video now? Vested political interest. Dr. Ajay Alok, I'm coming to you, Mr. Bhattacharya. I'm coming to you. Just give us 20 seconds. Yeah, I want Dr. Ajay Alok to come into this. Dr. Ajay Alok, why are you continually insisting, even after proof has emerged, that there should be proof submitted by the government, that you see we should not have this surgical strike and adventurism anymore, we need to go back to the dialogue table? Explain yourself.
First of all, Rahul, yesterday what I tweeted, it's all there for see. I also said that what's the harm in releasing the edited video if, and I just echoed the sentiments of the Congress and Arvind Kejriwal, but I never doubted the army and I never doubted the surgical strike. Because it was my party and my leader who stood behind the government like a rock. And I guess today the same tweet has been endorsed by Mr. Swamy also when he said today that the edited video can be released. And for that,
I've got your quote here, you don't talk about any edited video.
Because I wanted to check the reactions from BJP only and see what kind of a reactions you have got.
No, one second.
You check out on my tweets.
No, one second, sir. Look, I don't know if you've done a U-turn or one second, or a right turn or a left turn. All I'm asking you very clearly, Dr. Ajay Alok, is a very simple question. Even if you do release the video proof, where will it get you? We've given 12 dossiers to Pakistan on 26/11. They still don't admit that Kasab is their own.
That's right.
Forget about this particular surgical strike. So explain to me.
See, it was...
Because the men who run Pakistan are the guys who are actually exporting terror. They are the ones who send Kasab. So what difference does it make? There is a rogue state. Did you ask? No, I'm asking you. Did you ask?
Rahul, listen.
No, one second. Dr. Ajay Alok, this is ridiculous because did you ever ask? No, one second. Did you ever ask the Congress party at any time to release video evidence of the action they've taken on the LOC? Did you ask them when we somehow suggested that we had avenged the beheadings of Indian Jawans? Did you ask them to release videos?
Maybe they wanted it for entertainment purposes.
Well, I'm shocked at this.
May I just come
I can't understand the logic. You've given them dossier after dossier. You've given them dossier on Pathankot. You've given them a dossier on 26/11. You've given them a dossier on Samjhauta. Nothing has happened.
Let me give the answer. Let me answer you.
Answer me, sir. Answer me.
Let me answer you. See, let me answer you. Let me answer you first. Yeah, let me answer you first. Yesterday also I said in the evening that I deliberately made this mistake because I wanted the BJP reaction in this issue, and I have duly apologized for that also. And on this issue, my party and me are standing behind the government. The very idea of echoing Arvind Kejriwal and Congress on this issue, that let's release the video, was not to convince Pakistan, but to demoralize the Pakistani army and Pakistani people because they are spreading the conrad that there was no surgical strike. What's wrong in that? I was saying that. And for that I have seeked you his apology. But today even Mr. Swamy says that releasing the edited video doesn't make any difference.
Will it demoralize the Pakistani army even if you were to release the footage? What is Dr. Ajay Alok saying tonight?
The country broke into two and it wasn't demoralized.
Exactly. I don't think
he will demoralize the Pakistani army.
Really? How? Mr. Tariq.
The problem is, with all due respect, I think many people in India, for good reason, in good faith, assume that Pakistan is a reflection of what India is. The fact remains that India has developed as a democracy with all its difficulties and tensions and complexities, while Pakistan is not a country where any sense of rational argument prevails.
Yes.
I was born there, I lived there 30 years. I still dread when I hear Pakistanis respond to simple analysis. You will never ever get a sensible answer from them. You dealt with Liaquat Ali Khan, you dealt with Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, you dealt with Ziaul Haq, you dealt with Musharraf. You tell me, in the last 70 years, when did you ever run into a foreign minister, a prime minister or a president that was a normal statesman? They live in a medieval mindset, and that is what is Pakistan. It's not the name of a country, that's an acronym of a group of mad generals who are making billions of dollars out of this war. They will not listen to you. If you had $100 million at risk, do you think you're going to give it up? Nobody gives up.
Can I just come in?
Yes, sir.
No, I have a fundamental point to make. Look, the entire strategic perspective or geopolitical perspective that you get of the world is from the Western press. And sadly, it is about our Indian subcontinent also. For God's sake, Pakistan is your neighbor. We don't need CNN or Washington Post or New York to tell me what has happened. Now let me tell you, as a journalist, I think you know everything through the last detail. In 48 hours time, I found out actually what has happened. It isn't a very difficult thing. And I'm sure all the political parties have this kind of a network. They know the truth. They know the truth. But I must, this is a political comment.
Truth is unpalatable to politicians.
No. This is a very...
The truth is unpalatable.
This is a very wrong trend in most of the political parties today, that they keep certain leaders for upper, stratosphere levels. That they are the ones who will be, matured. They are the ones who are being groomed for the top position. Right. And you make lecherous spokesmen out of some of these, like some people who made, statement. Now you tell me, these people who made statements out of their own volition or I don't know, what is their future? What is their future? You have turned that man anti-national to begin with. What sort of a leader he will go and become? Isn't the responsibility of political parties to groom
leaders? Okay, so that's a larger question. I want to come back to the particular question. And I want to go back to Jaiveer Shergill, who's raising his hand.
Now, may I ask Mr. Shergill a question in his capacity as spokesman of the Congress Party?
Sure, sir.
Is it the official position of Congress Party now that they have no doubt whatsoever that that surgical strike did take place in the way the DGMO described it, or you have still some doubts in your mind as a party?
Okay, as a party. Okay, go ahead. Baseline question. Mine was slightly different. Yes.
Direct answer, and with due respect to Mr. Swami, who ducked your question on the statement of PDP or Mr. Amit Shah, let me say categorically, Mr. Swami, Congress Party has absolute no doubt in the statement of DGMO. We believe it. Congress itself has witnessed 3 surgical strikes, let alone video release. We didn't even believe in the press conferences. Congress realizes the level of sensitivity and confidentiality which revolves around such surgical strikes. And I'm also aware as a citizen that surgical strikes are not cricket T20 matches which should be broadcasted, highlighted for public domestic political consumption. So yes, this is my party's official stand, and we have reiterated it, reclarified it. I'm re-clarifying again in front.
Okay, so then answer me, sir. Furnish proof of surgical strike. Digvijay Singh says, may like to read my interview to a newspaper. You have, of course, Sanjay Nirupa. You have Mr. Surjewala, who is the head of your media department. And he says it's time GOI unmasked Pak's false propaganda by revealing and making public the evidences we have. Are these part of the Congress Party, sir? Will they continue to be part of the Congress Party? Will they continue to be on record, or will they be submitted some sort of a show cause notice to explain why they are steering so far away from the line that Rahul Gandhi is espousing through his spokespeople? Explain to me, sir. When P. Chidambaram says, I am so sure the government has thought through the consequences of taking the political ownership of a purely military action, who is he representing? His own views? The Congress Party's views? Or are you such a disciplined bunch that you like to speak in multiple voices because there are multiple constituencies, because you call yourself a party for everyone to please? I want to understand this. I'm not saying it. Rahul Gandhi said this.
Rahul, don't worry about multiple constituencies or feeding a constituency. We are not like BJP and PDP love affair going on JNK, who are over solicitous of Pakistan and the separatists, and their diplomacy and foreign policy held hostage by those separatists there. So let there be no doubt about that. Number one, I'll answer your question directly.
Has Mehbooba Mufti come out and said that the strikes were fake?
Is concerned,
no, any right-thinking individual would say...
One second, Rahul.
That there must be peace. I mean, no one disputes that, but peace in our terms.
Congress is not taking...
And we are dictating the terms. And the terms today that we are dictating,
PDP
sir,
has come out, the entire political class that day... You let me know when you finish, Rahul.
No, I'm only asking you a specific question. You constantly drag in
entire
PDP.
Political class... Yeah, I am answering you specifically, Rahul.
Who represents the Congress
entire
Party? P.
political
Chidambaram,
class
Surjewala,
that
Sanjay
day
Nirupam,
came out
Digvijay
and
Singh,
lauded the Prime
Rahul Gandhi.
Minister.
Who is it?
Now, I have heard your question, at least hear my answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I have heard your question, at least hear my answer. Entire political class came out that day and lauded the Prime Minister of this nation, except PDP, who expressed reservation of the surgical strike on record. Today you're debating whether should we engage with dialogue. Today the CM of JNK has met Prime Minister Modi, it's all over the paper, pleading him to engage with Pakistan to de-escalate the situation.
Fair enough, sir.
So what?
Who's denying it? We are asking that question.
Chips fall towards nationalism.
But I am asking you. I am asking you. Has the
now
one
coming
second.
to Mr. Surjewala.
No, one second, sir.
Mr. Surjewala.
No, 1 second, sir.
Mr.
1 second. You need to answer.
Mr. Surjewala.
Yeah, go ahead.
Categorically said, we do not demand any proof. Congress has done similar surgical strikes. We ourselves have never released any proof or press conference.
Deny
All
this.
Mr. Surjewala said was,
It's
if the
time
government
that
of the day
GOI unmasks
thinks they can
Pakistan's
please
false
whatever
propaganda
evidence they
by
want
revealing
at
and
the
making
international
public the
platform,
evidences we
and
have.
we will support the
Sir, deny
government,
this
whatever
statement.
via media they choose to expose Pakistan.
Sir, deny this statement. Tell me that he didn't say this. It's time that GOI unmasks Pakistan's false propaganda by revealing and making public the evidences we have. What is he referring to, sir? Which evidences is he referring to? Please explain to me. And he's the head of your media department.
Rahul, I will explain if you give me a chance. Yes, and he's absolutely right.
Okay.
He's absolutely right, and I will give a reason for that. And you have to allow me that time to give a reason to you and your viewers and the panelists. It is Congress party simply stated, and in a fairness stated, the government of India should further expose Pakistan that they host terror camps in their country, and they should do so with whatever evidence, whatever via media they choose, and we will support the government in that. You didn't read Mr. Anand Sharma's statement before that, or Srimati Sonia Gandhi.
No, I'm
They
reading.
said government, or when Ms. Srimati Sushma Swaraj was speaking at UNGA,
Okay, so-
the government should expose Pakistan.
Mr. Surjewala,
whatever
junior
manner they
to
want
Anand Sharma.
and we will support them. And
Okay,
that's a
look,
very fair demand.
I think the Congress today is slightly off the
Mr.
boil.
Surjewala only reiterated what Srimati Sonia Gandhi or Mr. Anand
So
Sharma
does
said. And there was no
Srimati
unfair
Sonia
demand
Gandhi
on his
believe
part.
it's
He
time that
simply
GOI
reiterated the Congress
unmasks
demand
Pakistan's
of
false
calling
propaganda
Pakistan's
by
bluff
revealing and
and
making public the
exposing them
evidences
that
we
they
have?
host
I'm
terror
asking you,
camps.
sir. I'm quoting him. You're not denying the quote. I'm asking you, what are these evidences that you want this government to make public to counter Pakistan's false propaganda? Tell me, sir, what are these evidences?
And what is the guarantee they will be persuaded?
No, what are the evidences? We'll come to part two.
For example, Rahul, for example,
Yeah.
for example, Rahul, for example, today you were, in very fairness, you showed certain pictures on your channel saying XYZ and these monster of terrorists are sitting. We are not saying video is the only evidence. If tomorrow Pakistan tries to convince US or saying please don't impose economic sanctions because we are the holier than thou, then India should pressurize US or whichever country wants
but
to,
1
to
second.
say here are the pictures.
You're divorcing. No, 1 second, sir. Because this statement was made in the context of the surgical strike. कांग्रेस को हमारी सेना पे पूरा भरोसा है. ये ना तो पहला सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक था, ना ये आखिरी सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक होगा. It is time that GOI unmasks Pak's false propaganda by revealing and making public the evidences we have. He is talking about the surgical strike. So what evidence do you want on the surgical strikes to be made public? Now explain to me, sir.
Whichever evidence that the government has best in their knowledge, whichever evidence the government thinks will further expose Pakistan's nexus with the terrorists, the factum of their hosting terror camps.
You have made 3 somersaults in the last 10 minutes.
Yes. To cut that oxygen tie. Point 1. Point 2. Rahul, please don't try to put Congress in a dog. Congress's nationalism.
I have to ask the question of Dr. Swami
much
now.
more political maturity than BJP ever did.
No, I'm asking Dr. Swami a very straight question that you're posing here.
Mr. Modi did a press conference on 26th.
Will ever the Bharatiya Janata Party take...
questioning PM
Let me ask the question,
They mocked
please.
Prime Minister Manmohan Singh.
Sir, please, I'm allowing you out of the doghouse now. Give me 10 seconds, please. Give me 10 seconds. I'm allowing you out of the doghouse. Your opportunity, please. Take your opportunity. 1 second. Dr. Swami, I want to ask you a specific question. If you ask the JDU, if you ask the Congress, if you ask the left, they all refer to the PDP. Now, will the PDP's demand be taken on board, sir?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
We have not taken it. They were not even consulted when this action was being proposed. The issue is, you see,
do you believe the demand is
no?
out of
PDP
context,
has
out
no
of place?
PDP has no future without us, and it will have no impact. We are in full control of Kashmir. There's nothing she can do. In fact, the effect of the surgical strike is that today there's much more normalcy in Kashmir than ever before. Buses have started flying
And
on
people are
roads.
speaking out against
Yes,
the
and
Kashmir.
people are speaking out completely.
The Kashmir
So,
conspirators.
there's no question about it. Let her say what. But I'll say one thing.
Wrong fact.
In many of your channels, it is the DGMO has come and said that between 2012 and 2014, there was never any surgical strike as claimed by some people of the Congress Party.
I'll just clarify this. I have served in that area. What earlier used to happen is that there used to be cross-border operations of shallow depths at local level, at sectoral level. But never it was, at a national level. This whole thing was planned at a national level.
Okay, let's not get lost in the minutiae of this surgical strike, because that's not the question. My larger question...
But they
and
should
I
not
want to
say
bring in
we did
Tariq
it.
Fatah.
No.
Tariq Fatah...
They cannot claim that we have done it.
And Rahul, just one line I want to add. This is not the final solution. This is not the final act. This is one just big episode in the,
It's a trailer.
One big episode.
That's a very important point.
Big episode. So for God's sake,
if tomorrow the government were to, if in the face of another provocation, the government were to embark on a similar move, a similar surgical strike, will you again come out and say, no, give up this, let's have dialogue? Will you blame the government for escalating? I want to ask you, sir, straight off the bat.
A very plain and simple fact. On the very first day of the surgical strike, we clearly said, and I clearly said, that more surgical strike is needed. The government is ready to go for that, and we will support the government. But you are unnecessarily dragging this debate by consistently saying that what kind of evidence you want. I mean, today Mr. Subramaniam Swamy clearly said he's from BJP, that the government should release the edited video.
No, that's not
so
quite
instead of
right,
asking
sir.
questions
What
from
did you say?
opposition,
I said that if the military,
which is itself demanding the release
if
the
the
edited video.
military can remove from the video the strategic aspects of the
military has already submitted the video, not
then
for the government. And we have the
military
government whether you release
okay,
it or you
Ajay,
don't
no,
release it.
the
Fine.
military has denied that it has submitted the video. Nonetheless, yes, it's on record.
If
Yes.
the military feels that it can create a video after subtracting all the strategic aspects which they don't want them to know for a future strike, then I said there would be only what you'll see is explosions and people running and screaming. If that is the video you want, I have no problem in that being released.
But it's the army's
army must
discretion.
consent to it.
The
That
army
is what
must consent to it. Well, I don't understand, because none of your statements seem to take into account the army. And nonetheless, I want a larger point. Tariq Fatah, yes, tomorrow, if you were to listen to the Congress's Digvijay Singh and the Sanjay Nirupams and Surjewalas and others, and we do release this video, what's it going to achieve?
PDP, Amit Shah.
PDP. I don't know about Amit Shah. I don't know what statement you're quoting, but certainly
No, take
Mehbooba
their
Mufti.
name, take their
Yes,
name.
even if you want to drag in the others, let's drag in 10 other parties. No problems. I'm only asking. But when you present it to this bunch of
Mr.
thugs,
Modi himself, who
what
said
is it
it's
going
our
to
army
achieve
weak.
us?
You see, the point is that this is much ado about nothing, but it...
No, then let's call spade a spade. I showed
Just
you
a
his
sec.
tweet. He put a question on the Indian army.
Jaiveer Shergill, till the Congress party doesn't act against the Sanjay Nirupams of the world and the Digvijay Singhs of the world, sir, your protestations have no meaning, no value, sir. They're empty words. Unfortunately, that's where we are at. You can't say that
So
when people
at
speak.
least you should be fair
one
and
language.
ask the same questions to every political party.
We have
Why
asked the
not?
question, what do you
Here's the
want?
point.
What do you want? The BJP to take out a gun and assassinate somebody from the PDP?
No, you have not.
They have no control over the PDP. You have control over your own legislators and leaders, I would assume. Has anyone from the
They have
BJP
control
come out?
over Mr. Amit Shah. They have
No, no.
control over Mr. Modi.
I don't know, sir. What is Mr. Modi
Mr.
said,
Mohan
sir? Has he
Bhagwat
said
said
that
Pakistan is our
surgical
brother on
strikes are
record.
fake? Has he said what Sanjay Nirupam has said? Sir, come on. Let's not make a, let's not
is-
make
He
this
said
argument to
BJP
ridiculousness. One
inflicted the
second.
biggest insult by
I'll tell you
saying
where the
we
biggest
are
surgical
facing a
strike has
crisis.
taken
Is our Indian army weak? This is what he said.
You have brought out some, sir,
BJP
I'm not
inflicted the biggest
conversant
wound when they
anyhow.
said
Tariq Fatah,
NIA
yes.
gave a clean chit to ISI and the picture as
Yeah, yeah, okay,
saying
okay,
the
Mr.
ISI
Shergill.
representative.
Okay, calm down, sir. Yes.
See, there are many wars that are taking place, I mean, right across the world right now,
Yeah.
I've never ever heard in any such incident where the demand is there for entertainment value, because the only thing you'll get is explosions and killings and dead bodies at a national level. In some ways, you know, Amartya Sen talked about the argumentative Indian. That's fine. But for heaven's sake, don't take it to the level where it benefits Pakistan, where Pakistanis say, look at them, Indians fighting amongst each other. That's what saddens me.
No, that's what has happened in Pakistan today.
Just
See the headlines today.
Yes, they've been quoting Kejriwal. Kejriwal is a hero.
My point is,
Kejriwal is a hero number one.
okay, my point is that Indian political parties of opposition are acting in good faith. Nobody should question their patriotism. However, somebody should become more mature and say, we are in a world war out of which this is one part of the action. It's being fought across the globe. For heaven's sake, why didn't you ask for video evidence of what happened with Boko Haram, for example?
Yes.
Because, and by the way, the #1 mascot for ISIS is an Indian. Why don't you ask for evidence as to who he is? He's the new John Jehadi is an Indian fellow.
That's right.
A convert from Hinduism.
The man who lops off heads.
Yeah, lops off heads.
Yes.
A Caucasian, right?
Yeah, yes.
Is it the right word, Caucasian?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
So, I mean, please.
Okay. Professor Nalapat, did the opposition, coming back to the point, did the opposition ask questions of Obama when America went into Abbottabad?
Nobody
In
asked.
the Americas, I'm asking this question to you, sir.
Well, you know, Rahul, I want to make a separate point. That is the point is, the way to deal with Pakistan is, I think, without advertising what you're doing, how you're doing, when you're doing, how you're doing. That is the best way of dealing with Pakistan. And in this particular case, I agree with what Dr. Swami says. Supposing we want to do the similar action, the same tactics, if you give all the information, then they can take action, which means that particular route is impossible.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm coming out to you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this picture. This picture sums up everything that is the Pakistani state today. Anyone calling for dialogue, anyone suggesting that we need to book a conference hall in some fancy five-star hotel, even on foreign soil, and sit across this lot, well, good luck to you. Colonel Arison.
Rahul, see what is this, you know, this cyclical nature of proxy war.
Yeah.
What it had done is it had generated a huge industry in India, in Pakistan, and a bigger industry in India. So, you know, all this calibration of this proxy war was being done by, you know, political outfits in India. Then you had, you know, so-called, you know, pro-Pak lobby. They've all gone into hiding. Now, what has happened is that this surgical strike that happened, actually, surgical strike has taken, you know, place on this constituency in India.
This constituency.
And let me tell you, never before, you know, in last one decade, the way
1,000 years.
the way ISI has been manipulating politics in India,
Yes.
through Hafiz
These
Saeed,
people. And
through
their-
Dawood
and-
Ibrahim,
and their proxies.
and you
their
know,
proxies. Okay, we'll leave it. I've run out of time. I get the point you're making through their proxies. These are the individuals that represent the Pakistani state. Samiul Haq, Hafiz Saeed, Sheikh Rashid, Abdullah Gul. These are the pillars. They represent the three pillars. Take note. Take note, India. Don't sit back and be complacent.
Okay.